Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, let's get another check at our weather. Cedric, how are we looking?
You know, can't complain too much. Hey, it is December. We just had a big winter storm move through for our mountains.
Yeah.
The valleys, not too bad. So, you know.
Yeah, December is just like the best month in general.
Yeah.
You know where we will
Christmas.
complain, though?
Uh-oh.
What?
As if this nicest that we're feeling today continues. Because then it's not so good for some things here.
Oh.
That's just because he missed skiing this past weekend, so now he's like...
We told him to go.
We did?
We did all this hype up of everything opening this weekend.
Hey, it did.
Now this
Whose
warm
fault
you
was
talk
that?
of
He could have enjoyed it?
could be ruining things.
Well, just for now.
You know, he has nothing to say because he knows.
Let's go to weather.
Yeah, you know, hey, the good news is our snow season extends all the way through April into May. So, you know.
You've got time.
Yeah, if we miss out on a month, it's not the end of the world. Let me show you what. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true. Hey, let's talk about what's going on with those temperatures because after a chilly start, temperatures are warming up. Now, it was actually colder across central and southern sections of the state, especially around the I-70 corridor where we had temperatures well down into the low to mid 20s, but those have rebounded nicely now back into the low to mid 40s out there, upper 40s in St. George. But notice it's 48 in St. George and it's 50 degrees currently in Salt Lake City. So yes, it is warmer right now across the northern half of the state. Now, Southwest Utah, we're going to get into the low 60s today with lots of sunshine, a very warm day, just some pleasant weather to be outside. The interesting thing about that 61, of course, is the average high temperature is kind of in the low to mid 50s this time of the year. So this is going to be about 10 degrees above average here. So enjoy it. But it only gets warmer as we go throughout this week. The Wasatch Front, I've got us in the low 50s, I think about 51 or so today. Again, we've got some of these scattered clouds. They will continue to break apart as we go throughout the day. Mild conditions. Keep in mind, our average high this time of the year, right around 40 degrees. So, yeah, a good 10 plus degrees above average. And again, it's only going to get warmer. Now, we've got this atmospheric river setup here. And this is, of course, a system our setup that we see typically a lot of times in the wintertime. But it's the position of this big dome high pressure, which is situated in the Pacific Ocean here, and it is blocking this atmospheric river from drifting to the south. So the jet stream, the moisture, it all stays to the north instead of moving into Utah. And as long as this is in place, we're not going to see much of a change. Now, you may think this is unusual, but it's really not. In fact, the normal La Nina pattern is very similar to this. You get that moisture feed that goes into the Pacific Northwest, and then you get the cold air that drops down across the Midwest and the eastern half of the country. So typically, we are drier and milder, at least for the first half. I went back and looked at some of the data from previous La Nina winters, and what I noticed is that usually the first half is pretty quiet, and the second half is when things become a little more active as the La Nina usually starts to break down. So we'll see if that happens this year. As of now, though, I don't see too much hope for that happening. Let me show you what I mean. So today, of course, the main storm track is off to our north, but that high pressure ridge, as we get towards the second half of the work week, that high pressure ridge actually builds a little bit more. So I think it gets a little warmer and a little drier around here as that main activity stays well off to our north and northwest. Now, heading into next week, here we go. The middle of next week, still that ridge of high pressure expanding into the area, keeping all the storm activity to our north and northwest, and even into next weekend. Right now, this is the weekend before Christmas. There's signs that this may be the beginnings of this pattern breaking down, maybe right before, just around Christmas, but it's just signs, so I wouldn't get too excited about that. What I will tell you, though, the Arctic air, all the winter weather is going to stay primarily from the Midwest to the East Coast, and for us, we are going to stay with those well above average temperatures. I'm talking 10 to 20 degrees above average pretty much every day here as we go throughout that time frame. Quickly, I do want to show you Futurecast because we're not tracking much of a chance of any precipitation, but as we go into your Tuesday, there is the chance that we could see a weak system grazing us Tuesday evening and the Tuesday night. I think it'll bring us an increase in clouds, and you can see maybe up towards the Bear River Range, the western Uintas, a snowflake or two, and then maybe a sprinkle getting down into the valley areas. It's a very slim chance, less than 20%, and then we get back underneath the ridge. So not a lot of hope for any big-time moisture here, and the snow accumulation map really not worth showing you. There's just not much going to be there. So St. George, I've got us in the low 60s, turning into the upper 60s by the end of the week with lots of sunshine. The weekend looks fantastic, but it will be dry. The Wasatch Front, we've got low 50s the next few days with upper 50s. Upper 50s, yeah, get ready for that for the end of the week. Guys?